Welcome to Karibu Anawim's program, 15 Minutes at Dr. Zali's Desk, where we explore topics related to living with a facial disfigurement. This program is for you, your loved ones, for educational purposes and professionals who would like to know more about living with facial disfigurement. Our presenters have lived experience, research background, or work with people living with facial disfigurement. It's important to begin the conversation with terminology that society understands and is clear. We use the word disfigurement as it is the medical and legal terminology. We recognise you may identify with other words such as visible difference or with your own diagnosis. Let's see where the conversation goes. So pull up a seat, grab a cuppa, and let's chat around the table with Karibu Anawim's 15 Minutes at Dr. Zali's Desk.
Hi guys, and welcome if you're coming to us with us live, and welcome if you are looking on at another time. Today we are looking at, or this week in August, or this month in August, we are looking at forms of self-disclosure. Last week we looked at different types of non-disclosure, and this week we're chuffing on and we are going to talk about different types of self-disclosure today. The first being, when I get the banners up, selective self-disclosure. Today I'll be talking about 3 different types of self-disclosure plus 2 others. Selective self-disclosure is just choosing to disclose to certain people and not to others. For example, last week I shared a story about me not realizing that I was using selective self-disclosure. What happened was I was on a bus tour around Europe and I had a tent buddy, and she asked me what was wrong with my eye, and I told her that, car accident when I was a newborn and the consequent story. I asked her not to disclose to other people because I didn't think they needed to know. And this was just after I had just come back. I'd just been in third world country, and I had been volunteer English teaching in Kenya, and I went from there where no one asked me whether or not what was wrong with my eye. It took me 3 goes to find out that they thought that I was a cursed rich white woman when I was volunteering my time and my effort and my own money to go and teach. In Africa, they think, they've got some superstitions, and they just thought that I was cursed. So they gave me a wide berth, or they walked around me, or they weren't, too friendly with me because they thought that I was cursed. In Western world, on the bus tour, would you believe, on the same bus tour that I had self-disclosed to my tent buddy, 3/4 of the way through the trip, would you believe, a spokesperson for the group decided that they would come to me and share with me that they were the most, they were qualified for this gig, this position that they put this person in charge of, and she came to me saying, I'm a teacher, which I already knew because we were living with each other for 50 days. So we all knew each other really well. And I'm a teacher, and I've worked with special needs children before, or students before. We were all wondering, including the crew on board, the staff that were helping us and guiding us. We want to know why you stand so close to us and what's wrong with you. So even though I used selective self-disclosure, that was the group mentality that I was experiencing. The second form of disclosure or self-disclosure is indiscriminate disclosure. This is, being open to anyone and telling anyone about their facial disfigurement and answering questions and having other people disclose about their facial disfigurement. An example of this might be when a person comes up and genuinely asks you, what's the story about your face? I can't go around the shopping centre or go out in public very much without at least one person staring or one person plucking up enough courage to ask a question or wanting to ask, and then having me say, it's okay, and offering my powerful story. The third one today is broadcasting. Coming out and proud and actively educating others, regardless whether or not they want to be or not, about their facial disfigurement. Announcing on social media, oh, well, I suppose I'm doing that right now, aren't I? And being proactive. Whoops, I think I'm being that proactive again, about re-educating others. I liken self-disclosure to learning to eat with a knife and fork or fingers or chopsticks. You need to eat and you need to learn how to eat with an instrument, whether or not it's your fingers or your knife and fork. It's the same as self-disclosing. Once you learn it, you've got it and you don't lose it. Last week, I spoke about the following different types of disclosure as forms of non-disclosure. But for some people, this is what they choose to do, whether or not that's being forced to disclose, not to disclose because of family shame or because nobody actually has ever told them that they can actually self-disclose. And it might be good for them to self-disclose. But because of family or that, they have felt shame and have been closed off. And that even happens today. It's not like 50 years ago. It actually happens in 2024, this shaming of ourselves and from our families and our friends or even society in general that say, shush, you shouldn't be seen, which is, this is the reason why we're here. So the other two are false self-disclosure or false disclosure, basically telling a lie about your origin, face of origin, your origin story. For example, I've got my lovely trusty parrot here, and I might say my last job that I was in, I had, was as a pirate. So that could be a form of self-disclosure, but it's called false disclosure. The other one, the last one that I want to talk about today, if you have any comments or questions, please answer them or please let me know. Or if you've got any pearls of wisdom that you would like to share, that would be good too. Just type it in. The second one, +2, is concealment, hiding or minimizing your facial disfigurement. Well, during COVID-19, some of us in the facially disfigured community or FD community enjoyed the time because that wearing a face mask allowed them to be able to go about their business like anyone else. If their facial disfigurement happened to be masked by the mask that we wore, then that allowed us to have some anonymity or civil inattention, as Professor Kathleen Bogart suggests. Remember, This week, oh, we've got a comment. Sorry. And Robert says, I love the parrot. Thank you, Robert. Remember, we've spoken about some big issues today and some different ways of disclosing or not disclosing to others, or that, and that might hit hard for some people, or they say, oh, I'm not like you, I'm not up to, or I would never self-disclose because of X, Y, and Z, and that's okay. For you, that's where you are, and that's okay. So remember to be not okay. It's okay not to be okay. And also to practice being kind and some self-care to your family and yourself. You know, these could be continuing with craft hobbies, you know, craft and hobbies, going out and exercising, using a support group, going to our website and support pages. However, we usually do a breathing activity or learn a different type of calming and relaxation. So the last three months, May, June and July, we learnt the pituitary release, the hypothalamus reset and the pineal support. And so in the month of August, we're putting all those three together and we're going to be practicing today. So the pituitary release is these three fingers in front of your head, like this, one underneath your left eyebrow, in the middle of your forehead, in between your two eyebrows, and on the other side of your eyebrows, in the indentation or in the crevice there, just here. And then with your other three fingers, you're going to find the back of your neck, where your neck and your back of your neck head line up, and then we're going to lift, breathe in through our nose and lift at the same time. I look wonderful when I'm doing this, but for you, I will do it. Okay, you ready? We're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our nose. Ready? Breathe in and lift, and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Third one, breathe in and breathe out. And when you release, you might feel relaxed. Oh, I'm just going to stop there for a second. Oh, it's coming. And for the hypothalamus reset, you put your two fingers into the indentations at the side of your head near your eyes, and you're rubbing backwards in circular motion whilst you're breathing in and whilst you're breathing out. Breathe in, breathe out. And the pineal support, you just place your palms of your hands into the indentations at the side of your head where your two fingers were. And then you breathe in and lift up to the roof. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And that's done it. I feel very relaxed now, and I want to yawn. And that's a sign of your body releasing things. And if you haven't got any other questions or comments that I haven't seen, next week we're going to look at the pros and cons of all the positives and the negatives of disclosing or not disclosing to others. So, thank you very much for coming and attending. See you, same time, same place, next week.
By
Bye.
golly gosh, it's the end of Karibu Anawim's 15 Minutes at Dr. Zali's Desk. And that's a wrap for this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Please remember that all information given during this episode is for general application only. If you have any specific medical issues, as always, consult with your medical practitioner. Like, subscribe and share on whatever platform you find us on. For more information, please connect with Karibu Anawim on our website at karibuanawim.com or email us at inquiries@karibuanawim.com.